up, everyone? Welcome back to Chad's Home. Today I'm joined by a very special guest. It's honestly hard to put into words how to intro or describe this person. He's just incredible. You can listen to his new song, Plaza Cuernavaca, right now, all the way from San Diego, California. Shua.
What's up? How's it
What's up,
going?
Shua? Dude, thank you so much for being here.
Of course.
Thank you. I've been like, when I got the music sent to me through Gil, and I was just like, immediately fell in love. I was like, this is so good and just so like angelic. I don't know. It's just beautiful.
Yo,
So,
thank you.
of course. So yeah, I guess where I want to start is I feel like your lyrics really, in particular, pack a punch. You know, and I don't know if I see that a lot. I guess with like newer artists, and so I'd love to know your background. Like, were you in high school? Were you like doing poetry? Like, it sounds like you're a poet who also does music. You know?
Yeah. So I when I actually funny, yeah, when I was in high school, I actually loved English. So that was my favorite subject. I never got into poetry until much later in life, actually. I wrote stories, so I always considered myself a storyteller. But the way I wrote was always trying to paint vibrant pictures. Like, I want people to see and to feel, and I want to connect in that way. And so when I was in high school, I would write stories, and then I came to a certain point where I would kind of start writing like them in really short bites, which actually began to look more like poetry. I'd write it in stanzas.
Right.
I never called it poetry. I didn't know what to call it. I just thought it was fun, and I'd do it on Facebook all the time, and it kind of helped me develop this like language, the same language that I use in writing songs.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
Got it. So when you do you get like a inspiration from something randomly that'll come up and you'll be like, I need to write about this? Or is it just like, I don't know, does it come out through the day and you're just like writing notes on your phone and you're like, I gotta remember that for later? Like, how do like the lyrics come together?
I got a big file of notes on my phone. Yes, like I have like just, and I lost a bunch of them, but they're still, even now, since like notes from 2016 to now, just a bunch of random words, or thoughts, or just images I see in my head. So it'll come over time, but usually when I like really go in to write a song, it all just kind of comes out in one. And I'm inspired by, I mean, a billion different things. I start thinking about my life, my childhood, my present, past, hopefully future. But I usually end by thinking about others. Like, it's easy to pull from myself. I'm like, you know, I'm self-centered. I have ego, like we all do. Right. And so I can write about myself all day, but how do I draw other people into it? And that's where I usually end. But I always start with just something random. And sometimes it's something stupid, like like I with this song it was my childhood, but I don't know, other times it'll be like my song You Can Only Go in Pieces, which I'm gonna sing.
So good.
That started from, I was joking around. I was saying, well, what if we were like souls before we came to Earth? And I was being dumb, but I was like, but that would be a cool idea, like for a song. And then it comes out of that. And then I like, you know, people like cry. And I was like, it's a joke kind of, actually. You don't have to cry.
That's great. I love that. And then musically, like, did you always play music? Like, when did you figure out, like, dang, I'm actually a really good singer. I should do I should do this.
I don't know if I figured that out yet, actually.
Come on.
I started playing piano when I was about 8 years old.
Okay.
My family, we were a religious family, and the church gave us a piano, an old upright piano put in the garage, and I would annoy the hell out of my parents by just banging on it. But I found myself really taking to it, wanting to learn, and I'd play piano. I actually got really interested in like music scores, like from movies and stuff, because I love storytelling again. So I'd play that. And then I started singing. And actually, a funny story, when I first started singing, I think I was probably 11 or 12, and I would be in the room and I'd start playing, and my mother, who I love and is my biggest fan, like of all of me and my brothers are artists too, came in the room when I was practicing one day when I was 11, and I wasn't like, hey everyone, I'm gonna sing, I'm gonna take I didn't take vocal lessons or anything. She came in the room and was like, hey, your piano playing is beautiful, you should never sing. And
No way.
yeah, so I stopped for a little while, but then I'm stubborn. So I just like, you know what? I'm going to still do it. I'm just keep on going. It was almost like revenge
Right,
a little
right.
bit.
Maybe that was her idea. Maybe she was.
Yeah. It was reverse psychology. Yeah.
Dang, that's crazy. And then, so did you start singing like in like church choir and stuff, or did
Yeah.
you?
When I was 14, actually, the story of me singing is very like spiritual story. Like I was in church, and I kind of had the only thing way I can describe it is sort of like a vision. Not in a weird way. I just, you see pictures in your head, as human, you're imagining. And I saw this image of me in front of a bunch of people, and they were singing, and they're, lifting their hands and just expressing, embodying song. And then I was like, I think I'm supposed to sing. And I kind of like even heard this voice, like, you're supposed to sing. And I started again. Actually, the funny part about it was I went back home, and this was a couple of years after my mom had told me, like, don't sing. And this was my moment of bravery, was like 2 moments of bravery. One, I went home and I sang her a song, and I like faced my window so I wouldn't have to look at her because I was scared. And I turned around and she was crying like a baby.
Oh, wow.
And so that was kind of solidified it for me. And then I started singing in church, all that fun stuff.
Dang, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, and I mean, I know that that's kind of a through line in your music, and I just feel like in your life is just that spiritual relationship, Does that come into play a lot in your music making?
Yeah, it does. Fun fact about me, I'm like a licensed pastor.
Oh, cool.
So I'm still a church boy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
A church man is what I mean to say.
That's awesome.
And so my faith comes into play in my music pretty heavily.
Yeah.
Like, I think that our relationship to God, whether we find ourselves loving God, disbelieving in God, hating God even, the frustration, the pain, and the beauty that comes with it all, this world we live in, has to be talked about.
Yeah.
Like, people can't escape it. Whether you're like, I don't know, like a gospel singer and you're like all about it, or you're like Lil Nas and you're like, I'm gonna do a video, I'm gonna put like human blood in my shoe or whatever. Like, people, we can't escape talking about it. There is this sense and this feeling that there's something spiritual, and we have emotions about it. And so it has to get out. And I just like to put my own perspective on that as someone that is really, like, my job in this world is to take care of people. And music is one of the ways I do that. Yeah. And I believe that's inspired by God. So.
Yeah, man, I love that. That's so true too, because like there are people on the other side who like have such a confusing spiritual relationship, and they don't know what to believe in there, and that also comes out so clearly in the music. You know what I mean? It's like, and it's just such a powerful being, obviously, that like is surrounding us at all times. So it's cool when artists like when it bleeds through, but in like a, I don't know, in a very like natural and organic way. That's kind of a lame thing to say, I guess, but like,
no, it's
but
not.
it's dope. Yeah, I just love the way you do it.
Yeah, I tried definitely. I would never. I can't fake it. I'm a person that can't fake it. So if I'm in my life, I believe I have a relationship with God. It's like any other person, but like bigger, right? And if I'm mad, I'm gonna write a song where I'm mad, right? And even if I'm upset with God, I'm gonna like be like, yo, this is this is what it is, right? And if I feel like alone, I feel alone. I feel like there's no one there, you know. I'm gonna say it. I just try not to leave people in the dark. My songs, I don't like to say like, here's my message, like here's what I'm saying, bottom line. Right. I like to leave it open ended so that people can hear it and just take what they will from it. Yeah. You know, Plaza Cuernavaca doesn't really have any sort of a spiritual message, but people have said, wow, I like love the lyrics in this. This just makes me feel like connected and like I'm open up to like something spiritual. I'm like, it's not even about that, but have fun. Like enjoy, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, let's talk about that song real quick. So is that just a street name from like when you were a kid, or? Yeah. Okay, so cool.
I grew up in Southeast San Diego for part of my childhood, and Plaza Cuernavaca is the street I grew up on. So it's not like I don't even know what that means in Espanol. I don't know. But I think it has something to do with like, I don't know, cows or something. I don't know. And trees. I grew up there, and that's the first time I can remember like listening to music. I think I was about 4 or 5 years old. The lyrics in the song kind of lay out the story. At least the first verse does lay out the story of me kind of falling in love with music. Like I was afraid of the dark, and when I was younger, and so I would ask them to play music, and I had these like stickers on. You remember those glow in the dark stickers?
Yeah, of course.
They were like, you put them on the ceiling, and it made your ceiling look like it was stars.
Like stars. Yeah.
Yes, I had a bunch of those on the ceiling.
Yeah.
So that's what the lyrics. Plaza Cuernavaca is where I saw the light. The stickers on the ceiling made me feel all right. And then I begged him let me fall asleep to Jungle Book, because we had this cassette, this like Jungle Book cassette of like you know, I want to be like you know, that whole thing. Right. And I fell in love with music because of that. Yeah, and there was a Mozart cassette as well, so we listened to that and Mozart, and we go back and forth. Dang. And my you know, my little brother, he's a hip hop artist, he's incredible. We would both listen to that. I was 4, he was 2, and then we had another little brother that was just born around that time, and we loved listening to it. Yeah. That's where we fell in love with music, I think.
Dude, that's so cool. The two greats, man, Jungle Book and Mozart.
Oh yeah, dude, there it is. There's no, that's the top. Yeah, that's exactly. The top of the totem pole.
Exactly. That's rad. And then, I mean, you were talking a little bit earlier about like composition and being like loving music scores and things like that. And I know you're a huge Ghibli fan, right? Yeah. So what's like the best Ghibli movie?
Oh, okay.
I know it's tough to.
Okay. Usually I would say Princess Mononoke, because it is my favorite. It's the character Ashitaka. He's like this very pure character in it all, and that's kind of like, I'm like, man, I know I'm just messed up as a human, and I'm just like, but if I could be like a fictional character, that would be dope. Yeah. But I just watched Howl's Moving Castle the other day, and I was like, shoot, like there's a battle going on in me right now. Howl's Moving, and I honestly, they're just all so fun. It makes me feel like this, you know, a sense of nostalgia and the beauty of it. Sometimes I'll just put it on in my house and like turn the volume all the way down just so I can see it. Wow. It's like a painting on the wall.
It is. You know? It really is.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, the most successful one was probably Spirited Away, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That movie is so good. It's so
It's
heavy.
Really, yeah.
It's
I think it
so
didn't win an Oscar when it came out.
It should have. That thing
nominated.
It's insane. So I feel like you could pull a lot of inspiration from those storylines too. Like it's so smart.
Often funny enough, I like when I'm producing, or sometimes when I'm writing, I'll put it on. Like, and I'll just like, I like to, like, you know, talking about scoring, sometimes I'll put on a visual like on the wall or something, and imagine that I'm making a song to that movie, to that story or whatever, or just even the emotions of the story. And it's super inspirational. This is Plaza Cuernavaca.
Plaza Cuernavaca's where I saw the light. The stickers on the ceiling made me feel alright. I begged them let me fall asleep to Jungle Book. The melodies, the harmonies, they had me shook. I don't know how it happened, did it come to me? The Sandman sang a song to help me fall asleep. I took the tune and hid away inside a dream. Ever since the song, it won't stop chasing me. Like I can't escape, can't run and hide. You'll be the love, the song in mine. You'll be the one to break my heart. I'll be your love, the scars and all. hit me with insomnia, insecurities while I'm approaching you. Tell me I can do it, tell me I'm a star. Rip the rug from underneath me, take a fall. Do-si-do around my father's lecturing. I work at do-si-do, I've got the money saved. I'm tired of watching Walking Dead and country songs. It won't be long before I make it on my own. Like I can't escape, can't run and hide. You'll be the love, the song in mine. You'll be the one to break my heart. I'll be your love with scars and all. Tell me I'm wrong, tell me you love me like you did when we began. I wanna feel like I did then, yeah. 'Cause I can't escape, can't run and hide. You'll be the love, the song in mine. You'll be the one to break my heart. I'll be your love with scars and all.
So you released an EP during quarantine, during a crazy year, Little Black Wolf. First of all, who did the artwork? Because the artwork was awesome.
St. Lennon, Andrew Lennon. He's from Virginia. He's an incredible artist. He's amazing.
Yeah.
You go follow him at St. Lennon.
At St. Lennon. Okay.
At St. Lennon. He's a dope artist.
So good. So good.
Yeah. I just followed him, and then I got a hold of him, talked to him on the phone. I'm actually going to go fly out and see him this year, I think, soon at some point, which will be cool. But yeah.
Nice.
He's great. That imagery was just an idea I had, because the racial tension that was happening in the world at the time, and is still happening, and might still be happening.
Yeah.
For years to come. Made me kind of think of this image of a wolf. And my last name, Randall, is actually Randall, R-A-N-D-L-E. It means wolf. And the wolf, culturally, in lots of cultures, is actually seen as a bad thing, right? Mm-hmm. Especially like you're a wolf among sheep, meaning you're something evil with a bunch of good. Right. And in my imagination, I just started to think, well, why is the wolf demonized? Like the wolf is just another creature, just like all of God's other creatures. Right. I started comparing the black experience to the experience of the wolf. Like the wolf is just a creature like any other, beautiful, strong, and has others like it, and often it's demonized. Like you're the wolf and we're the sheep, and then the sheep, in this analogy, become hostile. Right. Like you're different than us, and we're afraid, and so we're going to attack you. We're going to bring you down. You must be eliminated. So I just kind of wanted to flip the imagery on its head and say this wolf in sheep's clothing is in sheep's clothing because it has to be. Right. Not because it chooses that. It's hiding because if it makes itself known, yeah, like I am a wolf, or yeah, actually I'm black. Like there's no way to hide it. Like I found myself earlier in my life, culturally kind of whitewashing myself because I thought it would make me more acceptable in the world around me. One, you can't hide it. You can't. It just makes you unacceptable to both. Yeah. To black people, and then white people. Black people, you're not black enough. White people, you're not white enough. Right. And so the sheepskin, it doesn't work. Yeah. It's broken. It's much better to just see yourself a person made in the image of God, beautiful, every color, every culture, and finding the beauty in that. And it took me a long time to find the beauty in that myself. Yeah, man. So the EP was kind of about that, and also about like stop killing us. Right. Basically. Yeah. Well, I was listening to
I'm so glad you kind of went into that because I was going to ask about it. But like, it was something that I listened to on like morning walks around my neighborhood, and usually I could listen to a song once or twice and be like, okay, like I kind of see what's going on. But I like had the EP on repeat like all day, and it was like, man, this is so heavy, and I just like really want to hear what he has to say about it. So I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah,
There's
a lot more to. I mean, there's like, when the story of Ahmaud Arbery came out into the world, I was so confused for a moment. I mean, it wasn't like nothing like that had ever happened before, but I was confused by people's responses, even people that I knew and people that I love, like current day love, not loved. But
yeah,
I'm still like, I'm gonna get across to you somehow.
Yeah.
Like how can you not see that this is something in the world that has happened, and not just has happened, but is happening? And so I didn't know how to respond to it for a while, and I was kind of immobilized, and then George Floyd, and then Breonna Taylor, and then, just all the stories rising to the surface again. And I'd never responded very clearly in music. And I was like, how do I, in my own voice, say this? Just even if it was just for my family and my friends.
Yeah.
I'm in an interracial relationship. My wife, she's white, and she was super supportive and amazing. But even then, it's hard to fully grasp and understand. And she was experiencing pain just thinking about me. And so I was like, even if this was just for like my wife, this is the pain that I'm experiencing. And for her to be able to empathize, which she already did, but her and then others that, people that did understand and didn't, a way to process the pain of it all,
right,
is what I wanted to put out there. And so that's what that is.
That's beautiful. It's beautiful. And I know even in the first track, I think you're kind of, one of the lines, you're like in a place of doubt with God or something, where it's like, what, like, why would you make me like this kind of thing?
Yeah.
So yeah, in those moments, like, I don't know, how does that doubt like manifest, I guess, in the end? Like how does it like come fully around, I guess? Like,
it's, for me, it started because I just never saw myself as whole, as complete. You look on TV and every hero, every main character, I would look around me, even in the church environment I grew up in when I was small, when I was younger. I went to, not diverse, but like more black churches where there's a lot of black people, black pastor. And then I went to other churches where it was like, I went to one church where it was really diverse and beautiful. But then from that point on, I found myself just like mostly around white people. And then wondering, okay, all the pastors are white. Everyone on TV is white. Those are the good guys, right? What about me? I don't understand. There seems to be incongruence between who I see to be the good guys and who I am, just based on this, or being made fun of when I was young, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And sometimes those people aren't going to affirm you. Like, they can't change your mind about that. Sometimes it's only your own recognition of the beauty of the way that God made you. I think that is the most solid way that you can start to believe that. Like, the reason that there are so many in my world, in my thought and philosophy, and what I think, the way God, speaks to me, is like, the reason there are so many colors and cultures and expressions and gender and like all those things is because God is diverse. Like, God isn't like cookie cutter. Like, there's all these expressions because God wanted to express his diversity through all of us. And I never got that. I was just like, I felt the weight of like, but I'm not white. Like, I'm not light enough to be accepted in the worlds that I'm in. And I just had to figure out finally that that's a lie. Like, it's just, it's a lie. It's a lie. It's been manufactured. It's a manufactured belief.
Yeah.
By people that we're leaning for selfish gain.
Yeah.
Selfish gain at the expense of anyone, really.
Yeah.
At the expense of women, at the expense of minorities. Not even, sometimes I don't even think it's to lift up one race above another. Sometimes I think there's just enough individuals. Let's say there's 1 million individuals and they all happen to be white. They're all doing something selfish. Then it lifted everyone that looked like them up.
Right.
Like, and then there are the systemic things that hurt us and break us and,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I found resolution in believing that there's a higher narrative that is above all of that, above all the lies. And it's not necessarily native to us. We find it in the expression and diversity of God.
Right. That's beautiful. I can't wait to share this with people, man. I can't wait to share this. This is great. But yeah, I mean, I guess like one more heavy question I gotta ask.
You gonna ask me what my favorite cereal is or something, man? Like,
I will. But last one. So in this time, I feel like a lot of people have to battle with like seeing some of the true colors of people come out, like family members, loved ones, friends, where they're like not as supportive, not as empathetic, not as understanding, I guess. And did this EP kind of help? I don't know. Like, did it elicit these types of conversations with people like that? Like, did that, through your music, were you able to kind of help connect the dots and like try to understand more? You know what I mean?
Yeah. A lot of people came to me, and a handful of people came to me and said like, hey, I really, I like your singing and I like, the music, but it made me uncomfortable. Some of the things you're saying, or even like the fact that the first song has like gunshots at the end of it, two shots to kind of mirror what happened to Ahmad. And they were like, it made me uncomfortable. And then I got to go, well, good.
Right. Yeah.
Like, great.
Yeah.
You should be uncomfortable with that. It was an awful thing, and I'm singing about that thing. Like, I'm not going to water it down or kind of muddy it to make it more comfortable, because it was very uncomfortable for me, and it was very uncomfortable for him.
Yeah.
It wasn't a comfortable experience. And then getting to say, that's not a bad thing. Even if you experience uncomfortability about that, that's a good thing. That shows that, maybe you're having some sense of empathy. And then I'll ask like, why did it make you uncomfortable? The hard part is to not like let your own emotions run wild in that, to not let my anger dominate the conversation. 'Cause I was angry and I am angry.
Yeah.
But when you're talking to someone that does not understand something, anger is more of a selfish thing in certain aspects. Anger can do a lot of good in terms, if you're saying, I'm angry. If you're just expressing it aggressively, it's mostly selfish. But if you can look at a person in the eyes and say, this makes me angry, and this is why.
Right.
And explain it, you actually create a sense of unity, or even an attempt at understanding. I've sat across the table and had dinner with someone that didn't get it at all. Like they were just like, I don't understand. I understand that this is bad. I understand that this is awful, but like, then where's the solution in it all? It just feels so dark. And I'm like, exactly. Exactly. Let's sit with that. You sit with me and just stay at empathy. Like we don't have to fix everything. We're not going to fix everything in this life where people are kind of broken. And there are some things that can't be fixed. Like we can change things in society and the world. Like it's happened before. It can happen again. Civil rights movement did a lot for its day and age. And there are things that should happen now to fix the glaring issues that are in our world, with racial tension, with sex trafficking, with the I don't know, the ecosystem, like everything, the things that can be changed to solve problems. But in the middle of that, there's still going to be selfish humans that are even good-hearted ones that want to do really good things. We all have selfish ambition. So if you can take a moment and just stop and pause at empathy, at like, okay, I see you. Sometimes, I'm not saying all the time, but sometimes that has to be enough. I see you and I'm sorry. And if I can get a person that place, not even understanding all the intricate details of like history and you know, things that are actually pretty black and white in my mind. But I can get them to go, I'm sorry and I love you. Sometimes that's got to be enough.
That's powerful. Yeah.
The song is called I Don't Want to Cry.
Are you hiding from the past? But everywhere you turn it seems less. Afraid to see it, 'cause when you do, you see that I'm not quite the same as you, and that I don't wanna cry no more. I don't wanna walk out the door with my guard up high. And you can turn your back on my life. Just wanna breathe. Please let us be. Please let us be. When I'm tempted to despair, as I look into the mirror, see you there. Come stand beside me, see the truth. Yes, the image of the one is coming soon, yeah. And that I don't wanna cry no more. I don't wanna walk out the door with my guard up high. And you can turn your back on my life. Just wanna be. Please let us be. I don't wanna cry no more. I don't wanna walk out the door with my guard up high. And you can turn your back on my life, yeah. Just wanna breathe. Please let us be.
Love that. What's your favorite cereal, man?
Yeah. Yes.
I'm sorry I'm asking you so many heavy questions.
Oh, yeah.
I got to. The music is just so good. So.
Okay. My favorite cereal right now, I think it's Cinnamon Toast Crunch. But you gotta eat it fast. Cause it'll go.
It gets soggy.
It gets soggy. But if you hit that sweet spot where it's just like the milk is just grazed it, you know, that's the best. That's the best.
I love it. I love it. So 2021. What do you got? Is Plaza kind of running into an album, coming into an EP?
Plaza Cuernavaca is. My goal right now is to release a single every 8 to 10 weeks.
Okay.
I got another one coming out sooner than that. A cover of "Save Your Tears" by The Weeknd, which is. That song is so good. That album is so good.
So good.
On the 30th, which was just something I got to do on the side. So that's not a part of my singles, but it was a project I got to do, and someone encouraged me to put it out on Spotify. So.
Cool.
But I'm gonna do a couple more singles this year, and then I'm gearing up to do an album next year.
Nice.
I'm just trying to build, essentially, try to capture some people, even if whether that people be a small group of people or a big group of people. I want to catch the attention of the people I'm trying to sing to, which is just like lonely people, like people that feel like that want to feel understood, that want to feel empathized with, like I was talking about, and just like hear these songs, like feel that you're not alone in this, feel that somebody else gets this. Is what I hope it does for people. So
beautiful. Is that I notice your like tagline is for lonely people, like your album or your like record label kind of thing. That's cool. And is that what LP is when you write like on Instagram?
Yeah,
sick.
It is
sick.
You're like the second person to catch that. That's cool.
That's such a good that was my last question, was gonna be like, is there something you want kind of Shua's music to like stand for or move for going forward, and is that kind of sense of connection, sense of not being alone, like that's what you want your listeners to get out of it?
Yes. Yeah. Not being alone, like that's something for me. Like in my darkest moments, what comes to mind is not like you suck or like you're not buff or whatever. I don't know. I don't care about that stuff. The thing that comes to mind in my dark moments is like, you're alone. That is the feeling I have to fight off constantly. Depression, anxiety, sometimes panic attacks. It is triggered by you are alone. And so I don't want other people to feel that. Or I want to help other people journey their way through that feeling. It's going to come. Like, I'm not going to get rid of it with music. Like, music doesn't make the feelings go away.
Right.
Music makes the feelings make sense. And so that's what it did for me. And I just want to do that for other people. When you feel that you are alone, you need some sort of a reminder that you are not, in fact, alone. Like, someone else out there is feeling that. That can be like, it's like this communal thing. Like, if there are a bunch of lonely people in one virtual room, like let's say I go to Spotify artists and it says 7 people are listening to your song right now. That's 7 people in a virtual room experiencing loneliness, but not alone technically.
Right.
Because they're like sharing in this little piece of art that I hope blesses a heart or makes them feel like they're not alone. So that's why I say my music is for lonely people.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't sound like a call line or something like that, because it kind of. I've thought about that. For lonely people, 1-800. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
No, that's great. Amazing, dude. Well, thank you again for being here. I'm so excited to get into the music. Of course. Did you have anything else that you wanted to chat about, or shout outs or mentions or anything?
Shout out Charlie Powers for producing this whole. Plaza Cuernavaca and my EP as well. I co-produced it with him. Plaza Cuernavaca, he basically did the whole thing. He is incredible. He's an incredible artist as well. So he has music out. Charlie Powers. And he's a great producer. That's nice. And my wife, she's amazing. So thanks for having me.
Of course. And yeah, just a couple quick shout outs from mine. DC Shoes, thank you so much for sponsoring the show. You keep us alive so that we can talk to amazing people like Shua. Shout out to Topo Chico Mineral Water, best mineral water in the game. And last but not least, my favorite coffee shop in LA, Cafecito Organico. Send us some beans. We're working together, and it's just the best coffee shop ever. So go to Cafecito Organico. And with that, we're getting into some music with Shua. Let's do it.
This is a new song.
The water's warm. epiphany when you needed me to manipulate so conveniently, but someone needed me. While all my trials and my troubles, I cried for them to double. Prayed maybe you come running to see, but I'll just wait for a minute and try to find you in it. So quiet, but you're speaking to me while I'm bleeding and you're bleeding. It's a kaleidoscope. It's what you wanted most. It's drowning there in the deep. But can't you see the water's warm? Yes, the water's warm. You had an epiphany when you needed me to come manipulate so conveniently, but someone needed me. While all my trials and my troubles, I cried for them to double. Prayed maybe you come running to see, but I'll just wait for a minute and try to find you in it. So quiet, but you're speaking to me while I'm bleeding, while I'm bleeding.